Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. I recently came across another Kvaratskhelia, and this time it's not a tweet, it's not short, it's an entire 8-minute 53-second video, which I thought we would react to together and debunk, depending on what he has to say. Right then, Kvaratskhelia joins PSG, right or wrong move? Let's do this.
People, Kvaratskhelia is going to Paris Saint-Germain from Napoli. Let's break down how this transfer is going to have implications on both Napoli and PSG for the rest of this season, because this is a fascinating transfer. Nobody would have predicted. Maybe in the summer, coming up in the summer, you could have predicted Kvaratskhelia leaving Napoli, and then PSG maybe would have been one of the front runners to sign him. But already in the January transfer window, let's not forget.
PSG would have been one of the front runners to sign him? This guy's a Napoli fan as well. I mean, we were like, Kvara's agent was coming out saying he wanted to leave. His dad came out and all the negotiation with PSG, and he had already agreed terms to join Paris Saint-Germain. So, like, have you been living under a rock, or is this just part of the agenda?
Napoli are in first place in the Serie A. So first I want to talk about Napoli. How did this all happen that Kvara, who was the golden child for them 2 seasons ago when they won the Scudetto, he was the player of the season in the Serie A. Him, Osimhen, fantastic duo with Spalletti, Kim and Jay. But now it's all done. Now the relationship is broken, and now he has left the club. And it's kind of, in a way, sad that this has all gone about this way, because Kvara,
I mean, it is your president. De Laurentiis is the main factor. Spalletti left has the main factor with Bay's relationship with Osimhen and with Kvaratskhelia. It's all De Laurentiis. It's all De Laurentiis.
Kvara brought so much joy to Napoli fans, bringing the Scudetto back. Obviously, it wasn't just him, but that whole entire team. And now that most of that team is gone, obviously Spalletti gone, Kim and Jay gone, Osimhen basically gone, and Kvara is gone. Now, Kvara wanted a contract, and obviously his agents, and football agents nowadays, they want to get their commission, they want to get their money, they want to be the big bad.
All right. Once again, trying to make it out of that, Napoli were the victims here. Kvara wanted the money. We just looked at Kvaratskelia's wage. He is like the 17th, 15th best player, 17th best paid player at Napoli. He's by far your best player. Why is he not the most paid? Or at least in the top 5, in the top 3? And especially when you compare him to other Serie A players, he is, I don't know, 100th, 150th most paid player in the Serie A. Obviously, he needs a high pay raise.
Boys, like they're the bullies in school. Napoli had time to give him a contract, and obviously Kvara and his people said, nope, we want to get paid more, we want to get paid more. And according to reports, Kvara is the 14th highest paid player at Napoli. Do you think Kvara is the 14th highest paid player at Napoli? He should be top 3, minimum top 3. Now, you can take me for bias. I love Kvara. What do you think about this kid, people? Because that Napoli team just screamed football to me. They just played exhilarating football, and Kvara he was one of these superstars of that team, and I will forever love that Napoli team. But it's sad how this is broken down. Now you can blame Kvara and his people.
I do agree. Even from a neutral standpoint, like a non-Napoli fan standpoint, it is a bit heartbreaking. But, we've seen previous teams like that. The Ajax team that reached, the UCL semi-final, they also got broken up. So this sometimes happens. Obviously, it would have been nice if De Laurentiis and Napoli were able to keep their best players, but it happens.
People, no doubt, because they offered you a contract. Kvara, take it. If you love Napoli so much, and you should also give payback to them. They gave you an opportunity to come play in a top 5 league. Come play at a team like Napoli when you were in Georgia playing for Dinamo Batumi. Kvara and his people.
I mean, look, Kvaratskhelia was extremely interested by joining Paris Saint-Germain, and he was really interested, but he could have potentially stayed at Napoli for a few more seasons. Maybe one more, maybe towards the end of this season, if you guys just gave him a contract that was worthy of his quality and ability. I think the maximum Napoli offered Kvara was between 6 to 8 million, which is absolutely disgusting.
People said, we don't think that's enough money. We don't think that's enough money. We should be paying higher and higher. And obviously, Napoli and his people, and obviously ADL, we already know De Laurentiis. This guy is a tough negotiator. And it's funny how this all works out that
he is a tough, but he's mostly a stupid negotiator. PSG sent a 210 million bid for Osimhen and Kvara at the beginning of summer last year, and Napoli rejected it. Now Kvara is leaving for around 70 million, and Osimhen, I don't know, maybe his market value is between 50 and 60 million after this loan to Galatasaray. So, De Laurentiis is just a stubborn, stupid president. For example, PSG, when we kept Mbappe, for example, now in hindsight, it's obviously a bad decision, but at least PSG are a top club that wants to keep Mbappe. The thing that De Laurentiis and Napoli have to understand, you're not a top club. You're not a club where players can spend the majority of their prime years at. Yeah, it happened to Dries Mertens and Callejon before, but it won't happen to these players.
Napoli and PSG, they just have a history with each other doing transfers. They have Lavezzi,
True.
Cavani, and
Cavani, Fabio
and
Ruiz.
So I think for Napoli, you got money. You got 70 million, which obviously I think it was last summer or 2 seasons ago they rejected 120 million for Kvara, and now you're only getting 70 million.
I mean, no, that's what they wanted for Kvara. I think PSG maybe made a bid of around 80 to 90 million in the summer. But as I mentioned, we did make a 210 million bid for both Osimhen and Kvara, which is at least 100 million for Kvara. And yeah, it got rejected.
I think he only had a couple years left on his contract. It might have been a year or two. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. But I think for Kvara and Napoli, it was a great relationship. It's basically like a divorce. It's a very sour divorce that's happening at the moment between Kvara and Napoli. But for both of them, I guess is the right thing to do because obviously Napoli and Conte said in a press conference he doesn't want to be here anymore. He wants to leave. So if that's the case, get rid of the player. You don't want that sort of bad atmosphere within the change room.
I mean, Napoli had the decision to let Kvara go because he was very public. His agent was public. His father was public. But Napoli were like, no. No.
Especially if you're going for the Scudetto like Napoli are. And now Napoli need to use this money correctly. They are in first place. They have
100%.
Conte, one of the best managers in the Serie A, alongside the likes of Inzaghi and Gasparini. They have to back him. So there's reports of Garnacho. Don't go for Garnacho.
No.
If Napoli signed Garnacho, wasteful. Absolutely wasteful.
Agree.
Who could be a decent player for Napoli?
I mean, I've seen some link to Zegrova. Zegrova would be really great. The only issue is obviously Lille are having a historical season by their standards, and they don't want to lose Zegrova in the middle of the season. But if he pushes for the move, that would be a great signing.
You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I have to think about that a little bit more after doing this video, but Napoli need to find the right person. Obviously, David Neres has been amazing this season. He doesn't have the GA, but Neres' impact on the games is felt. And obviously, Lukaku, even though I don't think he's been great this season, doing his thing in Anguissa, might be the best player so far for Napoli this season. So Napoli got to use that money correctly. They have the talent in their hands. They just got to keep performing, and they still need that difference maker in their team. When you're going up against like Verona, to Cagliari, and all of these teams, of course you can beat them. You can get a 1-0 victory, and that's enough. But when you go up against an Inter, an Atalanta, you have the firepower to go up against those teams? Not really. So Napoli really need to invest this money well. And yeah, it sounds sour divorce, but Napoli have done this before. They've had Cavani leave, Higuain leave, Lavezzi leave, Mertens leave. They've had all these stars that have been at Napoli leave the club, and yet Napoli keep on doing it well, and they respond wonderfully. So it'll be intriguing to see how they use this money, and as they go.
There will come another Kvara.
For the Scudetto. They have no Coppa Italia, no Europe. Prime for Conte. Now for PSG, people want to make fun.
Let's go.
To PSG and saying, look at them. They play in Farmers League. Oh, who cares about Paris Saint-Germain? But PSG still signing these stars. Yeah, okay, that's not the likes of Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, but you're getting Kvara. Kvara is one of the best players in Serie A. In my opinion, you can say what you want about Kvara. You can say he's a one-season wonder. The guy is an excellent player. For me, at least. So
baller, top baller. Like, I know, like, it's really hard for Kvara to have anything close to that first season. He had first season in the top 5 league, winning Napoli their first Scudetto, winning the Serie A MVP, and even last season Kvara wasn't even bad. It was a mixture between obviously dropping off from that first amazing season, but also Napoli dropped off a lot with Spalletti leaving, the relationship between De Laurentiis and Osimhen, Kim Min-jae leaving. So I've never understood those one-season wonders. I mean, they probably don't watch Kvara to say that.
You get a player like that from Serie A, okay, yes, you can say, Michael, it's money. And apparently PSG are going to pay 5 times the wages that Kvara is making at Napoli. So, I mean, that's an incentive for Kvara to leave. But now it's going to be intriguing to see.
I mean, we're not even paying Kvara that. We're paying Kvaratskhelia 11 million. And I just checked through. They're like 20 Premier League attackers that have a higher wage, including Gabriel Martinelli and Anthony. We're not even offering Kvaratskhelia the high of a wage. It's mostly that Napoli were giving him such a low wage. Could I even call it a slave wage? And then obviously it looks like 4 or 5 times up.
To see how does Luis Enrique start with this lineup, because you have the likes of Desiree Doué, who can play in the cam, even the 8 role, but more of the cam. Obviously, you got Bradley Barcola, who's having a good season, but in the Champions League, the dude cannot finish. You have Dembele, you have Gonzalo Ramos. They're going to try to move on Colomani. So Kvara either is going to play in the 10 or on the left wing. So, you know, Luis Enrique, this guy doesn't want to play with a pure striker. Getting Kvara, could you play then Barcola in the false 9? Could you play Dembele in the false 9? Doubt Dembele's going to do that. Dembele on the right.
I mean, Dembele's played probably his best game since coming as a false 9, but it's okay. I guess you don't watch PSG.
Maybe Barcola or Gonzalo Ramos down the middle, or you could play then Lee Kang-in in the 10 role. I think that could work well. So for PSG, this move makes sense. You need a difference maker. Now, of course, Kvara is not a guy who can get 20 goals, 30 goals, but you need that difference maker, especially in the Champions League, because we have seen it time and time again. And I've reiterated this many times on my Champions League review shows. PSG don't have a goal scorer. Okay, you can score all the goals against Lens and Saint-Etienne and Montpellier and all these teams, but when you go up against top teams in Europe, you need that difference maker. And this team doesn't have it. They don't. They get so shy in front of goal. So maybe Kvara can help with that. He's not going to get you 2-3 goals a game, but he could get that one moments of brilliance, and it could be enough for PSG, especially with 2 games left, and they have to win both games if they want to advance to the next round of the Champions.
I mean, Kvara won't be available for those games, but I do agree that Kvaratskhelia is a difference maker. He will be like on par with Dembouz, and I would expect like a goal in every 3 games from them in the UCL. So No, we definitely needed to strengthen when it came to attack and having a moments player like Kvaratskhelia. But Kola's still young. We'll take him time. Dembele's trying his best. We'll see what he can do in the upcoming 2 games in the UCL group stage. But yeah, I agree.
So for PSG, this makes sense. 70 million for a player who's unbelievable, who's still young in his career.
Yeah, it's a crazy steal. 70 million for Kvara.
This is a great move for PSG. And for Ligue 1, they need some superstar power still, because we don't know what's going to happen to Lyon. And, Don Texter in his wonderful text messages that he was saying about Shirky. Obviously, Marseille trying to rebuild under the Zerbi Monaco. They're going to probably sell some more stars. So I think for Ligue 1, it's important to get a superstar, kind of like Kvara. But now it's going to be fascinating to see how Luis Enrique is going to start with the starting 11. Because next week, people, next week is the big game. PSG against Manchester City. Could Kvara be a key piece in that game to help PSG?
Again, he will not be available for the Champions League games, but
win that matchup, because Lord knows they need to win that game desperately. So for all, I think it's great.
I mean, I wish we had Kvara for that game, but
all parties. It's good for PSG. You need a superstar kind of like Kvara. For Napoli, it's a bad egg. Remove the bad egg. Focus on what you need, which is the Scudetto, and reinvest in the team well in this January.
I mean, I would like Napoli fans, Napoli board, Napoli players, Napoli situation to at least point some fingers at De Laurentiis. Like, how many mistakes is he gonna make? I remember when you could have sold Koulibaly for like 90 million, you rejected, and then you sold him for like 20 million 2 years after. Like, De Laurentiis has to stop his stubbornness. He has to stop him, man. I think when Napoli eventually becomes a consistent top 3 side in Serie A and a consistent UCL team, like in the knockout stages, that's when you can try your absolute best to keep your players. When you're this yo-yo team who went from 1st place to 10th place, it's very hard keeping your best players.
Transfer window. So I think for all parties, it works well. Kvara gets his money. The agent gets his commission fee. Everybody's happy, right? Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Everybody online will say, oh, PSG, look at this team. Oh, Kvara's won the Farmers League. For some players, and it's very common nowadays, they want to be respected. And they want to be respected by the money they make. So it's a sad fact, but that's...
What? I mean, you're at least better than... I mean, you're at least better than most of the trolls and so on, but... What the fuck? Like, can we talk that PSG is a way more competitive side than Napoli? Again, I don't care what happens in the league. Everybody cares about the Champions League. Can't we say he upgraded to... I mean, PSG has a much better team. PSG is a better manager. PSG is richer. PSG is located in Paris, a better city. Like, sure, I'm not even saying money is not an important thing. Of course, it's an important thing. This is Kvaratskhelia's job. It's an extremely crucial thing, especially by how underpaid he was in Napoli. But the main reason he joined PSG, it's all the other reasons. He would have gotten money at any other club he'd gone to. But that's why he rejected every other club, because it was something else apart from the money that made him join us.
Nowadays in football. So if you're not going to pay the superstars you have in your team, they're going to leave. And Kvara did that. Maybe Napoli will feel the benefit of it, and maybe PSG will be the biggest benefit of securing a player like Kvara. Preliminary thoughts in the comments down below, people, of this transfer. Is it a good move for PSG signing a player like Kvara? Did they really need him? And what about Napoli? Were they in their right to get rid of Kvara and not give him the money that he wanted? And which player do you think Napoli should sign in order to secure the Scudetto this season? Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around. We're going to do more.
Yo, all right then. Shout out to him. Shout out to Michael Talks Football. I've liked the video. I'll put the video in the comments down below, so you can go and watch it for yourself if you want. You can smash his like button, comment something nice that you can from the channel. But yeah, Michael, it was a great video to react to. Some points, obviously, I disagreed with, but we're not here to agree. We're here to listen. And as I said, you're still better than 99% of all the other trolls on what they have to say. Even though you went into a bit too much, I think, on the money issue and so on, I still agree with most points you said. And I hope the absolute best for Napoli. I said I have some grudge towards De Laurentiis, but apart from that, Napoli has always been a club I respect. And as you mentioned before, with Lavezzi, Fabian Ruiz, Edinson Cavani, and now Kvaratskhelia. So I hope the relationship between the two clubs, the two presidents, keep on being great. I know that our ultras are also great allies. The ultras of Napoli, ultras of PSG. So we're very two connected clubs. And as I said, I hope Napoli win the Scudetto this season. Honestly, out of all the Serie A teams, I hope that you do well, and I hope you replace Kvaratskhelia well. And as you mentioned, no, Garnacho's ass. Don't get him. Zegrova would be nice, though. Well then, people, there we have it. Another Kvaratskhelia video reacted to. And as I said, this is much better than all the other stuff I've reacted to. So shout out to Michael. Shout out to Kvaratskhelia, who'll be landing in PSG in about 30 minutes. That's been it from boy PSG, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez, Paris.